Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I'm Vince Stone. That's Joe Bryant. Talking
hello.
with everybody here live over on YouTube at LWDW. Come check us out 3 p.m.-ish. Typically go live about 2:45-ish, but like somewhere in that window. Pop in, say hi if you so dare. But plenty to talk about because we got a new version of Debian, new version of Ubuntu. What else we got? New version of Handbrake and Firefox. We talked about Firefox adding AI. Well, it turns out there's a small problem with it. So stick around to the end to find out about it. But up first, let's see what we've been up to. Jill, you've been vegging out, Netflixing and chilling.
Yeah, watched the first episode of season 2 of Wednesday on Netflix. Me and my hubby did, and I love it. I'm so happy to have it back. It feels like so long because we had the pandemic, then the writer's strike, and everything in between. So it's been a long time, and I'm really happy that they put in like the first 15 minutes a retrospective of what happened last season because it'd been so long. I forgot
That is
not everything,
helpful, isn't
a
it?
lot. Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes I hate it, but every now and then you're like, thank you.
Yeah, this was very, Steve and I were very happy about that, to refresh our memory. And so that was really cool. And then also last night, I unlocked a new land from the summer update in Genshin Impact. And I was so excited. I didn't even know there was going to be a new land available to explore in the summer update, but there was. And I found it. Yeah.
Is it just like a whole new area you got to go to?
Yeah, it's a whole new area, new extension on the map.
Okay.
But to get there, I had to swim like 20 minutes.
Oh.
Because it was an island way out there, and
You're
I noticed.
supposed to have a raft, and you're like, wow.
Yeah. But I rode the sea serpent.
Okay.
I became a sea serpent and rode it out there, and I didn't know if it could go that far. I mean, I could barely see the island in the distance, and I locked on it. I'm like, okay, well, let's see if we can get out there, and it worked.
Dude, I think everybody has be it like a space sim or like an ocean or like when you're playing like an adventure game like that, we've all just torn off in a direction. Like, let's just see how far we can go, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I like my side quests.
I've been on an interesting side quest. Talked a little bit about it on Linux Gamecast. I've been playing around with making UEFI work on ARM, like your existing hardware, installing UEFI.
Amazing. Oh.
With mixed results. I'm working. This is just like, speaking like a side project, this was just a curiosity thing. Then I saw a lot of people were having problems just getting it set up. And I'm like, well, let's see what this takes. And I'm like, oh, of course, all the instructions are wrong. Let me see if I can clear them. I'm like, well, let's make a little video about it. And a bit of a write-up. And the advantages of that, you got like a rock chip based device, or even I think a Pi 5's got a version of this. EDK2 is the open source UEFI firmware for like a Snapdragon. Gives you the advantage because if you get an ARM device, you gotta like, okay, well, let's go to the whoever I bought it from's website and download that. Or if you go like to RBN, you're like, well, let's go find the particular, hope your board is listed so you can download the version for your board because you're dealing with DOS U-boot and it's not like a regular PC. You can't just pop it on go to the Linux store, download a copy of Linux and pop it on and just boot it and install it. Well, you can once you have EDK2 set up to some extent. There's still work being done on it, but been doing a lot of testing with that. I was telling Joel in the pre-show, go listen to that if you're one of our patrons, the getting that up and running and what I've downloaded has been interesting, but it maybe just not quite there yet. I don't want to spoil anything. So stick around, interfacinglinux.com or just at interfacinglinux on the YouTubes. Another thing I got, Jill.
What'd you get then?
I got plugs. Look at all these plugs and connectors. And I've been meaning to buy one of these. Well, I have one of these. I think a lot of people have that. Your power brick with all the different barrel plugs, all the different sizes. This one's also got USB Mini, USB Type-C.
Oh, that's nice.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Sweet.
oh. And it's also got a block plug on it, so I can just screw bare wires into it, which is handy with some of these development boards. I'm like, well, why did you buy another one, Vin? Well, the other end of this, what I plugs it into is a 65-watt brick.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a chunky boy, and it's got that new stuff in it, a power negotiation. So I'll be able to run, some of these ARM ITX boards off of it.
Nice.
That would, yeah. So I was just like, boop, boop, boop. And I'm like, that's going to be pretty cool. Haven't even unplugged the brick, so I may be burning my house down soon. I don't know. It wasn't terribly expensive, but it wasn't like, frighteningly cheap. I'll be playing around with it and checking it out. But there we go. There we go.
Nice,
We'll see. Plenty of fun things to play around with. Let's go ahead and hop into it for this week with, we got a point release for Ubuntu 24.04.
Yeah, it's quite important. So the third point release of the Ubuntu 24.04 LTS series has been released with lots of bug fixes and security updates as usual, but there are very important upgrades, including a new hardware enablement stack. Woohoo! So this update rolled out to existing Ubuntu 24.04 LTS users last month, but now it is available as an ISO so you can download and install it. And keeping with Ubuntu's cadence of more frequent kernel updates, it includes the newer Linux kernel 6.14, which provides much better support for the latest hardware. And the updated Mesa 25.0 graphics stack is also included, which was backported like the Linux kernel 6.14 was from Ubuntu 25.04. The Mesa 25.0 update adds a new package called Mesa Amber to Ubuntu LTS, and this package has drivers for older graphics cards which are no longer supported by the main Mesa package. And that's always good to hear because Linux is one of the most backward compatible OSs, and it's nice to keep that older hardware running.
I don't know, Jill. If you ask Jay's 2 cents, he might just say Linux is backwards.
Oh, yes, that's true. He ran into an error, so he'll have to get that fixed and do some research online to get that fixed. And so the Ubuntu 24.04.3 point release is also available for various Ubuntu flavors, including Kubuntu, Xubuntu, Lubuntu, and many others. And it's available to download as an ISO for desktop, Raspberry Pi, and server from the official Ubuntu website. And the next point release, Ubuntu 24.04.4 LTS, is planned for February 2026. So we'll get another new kernel update next year. Yay!
Pretty cool. And you wonder what you see, you might run into Ubuntu at work, on desktops or doing other things, the LTSs, because one thing I'll always give Ubuntu credit for, especially since they've extended this, 24.04 LTS is going to be supported until 2029.
Yes.
It's got a couple of years on it. And then, of course, they're, if you write them a little bit of a check, you can get more support, the Ubuntu ESM for the Pro for like 5 years after that, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Good to see it. I've been playing around with not 24, the exact opposite of Ubuntu LTS. I've been playing around like 2510 nightly, or they call them daily builds.
Daily builds. Yeah, questing Quokka.
Yeah, Quokka. Jill knew that. I'm like the Q thing.
Yeah.
And dude, but I've been playing around with it on ARM. And
sweet.
Yeah. It's an experience, man. It's been a minute since I've played with Ubuntu mainline and just regular Ubuntu, not a flavor or a spin or anything like that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So we all know if you want to deal, with like the origins of Ubuntu, you got to go back further, right? You got to take a step back. You got to go back to where this where the story started way back when, because Ubuntu is in no small part based off of Debian. Yeah.
Yes.
Debian's got a new version out, and you know me, I'm going to shill for it. I'm a Debian shill. Debian 13 Trixie, of course, based on Toy Story characters. Bunch of new stuff in here. Mere months after the release of Debian 12, yes. 25 months. Still counts as months, people. So it's just a couple of months later. Debian 13, ready for public consumption. It comes with XFCE, latest version of that, and several lesser desktop environments. 14,100 new packages, with 63% of those packages getting an upgrade. Now, you might notice i386 no longer supported. You know, that is what all the other kids are up to, which is fine. But 64-bit ARM and x86 ready to go. And I've been running it for the past couple of months. You know, I've been telling you on the show, I've been tracking Trixie, running it from Debian testing. There's nothing crazy to report, really, at all, because, like, this is why you run Debian. You don't like change, which is a weird thing. We were discussing in the pre-show about, you know, maybe Windows users are used to just things going blarp, like blowing up on you, and you're like, okay, that's fine. And everybody running a rolling release at some point, don't pretend you haven't, you know, just don't self-report and be like, I'm going to tell you an untruth. You've had an update knacker your system in some way. Like, man, you know, package got updated, something. It caused either usually a fixable error, but, you know, people are like, nuke and pave, because they get that, you know, they bring that Windows energy to the problem. And Debian is the exact opposite of that. Once you have a stable release of Debian, you're going to get a point release, maybe 2-point releases, like incremental upgrades for the software. But outside of that, for the next 2-3 years, all you're going to get security fixes. So once you have the system dialed in, like the streaming system in here, nothing changes. You can do updates. You'll get a security update, but nothing's going to break. You don't have to worry about it. There's no, like when I go back to, you know, a regular distribution or a non-LTS that gets regular updates, that would terrify me. You know, I'm like, is that going to cause a problem with that and that and that and that? Not on Debian. Not on Debian. And previously, you know, it's a little bit tricky to get into Trixie, but now you can just download the net installer or the DVD ISO, pop it in, give it a spin. It is much like Fedora used to be back in the day. Fedora was like, oh, Fedora's a little bit tough to. Debian's a breeze to install. They got a GUI installer.
They have a GUI now too. Yeah.
There's still a text mode. There's still an ncurses based installer. It's fun, but then there's live bootable ones. And you know, last year they made the push to make sure that the firmware, like, I will tell you this, it's easier to get you know, the firmware that you need, the non-free firmware, up and running on Debian than it is Fedora. Fight me. It is. I dealt with it this week, dude.
Yeah.
More stuff works out of the box, and really glad to see it. I haven't had any problems with it. The only small problem I had, if you want to get into like the nerd stuff, like where's your nerd card? I had to build a custom kernel. But if you follow me, you're like, yeah, you do that. I'm like, yeah, I do that anyway. Because the default real-time kernel, I use a real-time kernel here for the audio stuff, was not built with the on-demand governor, which I needed for Threadbooper because, you know, modern CPUs, you got a new Ryzen CPU, like they're good you just leave them alone and like they're good at doing the power steppings and stuff like that. They can handle it. You don't have to worry about it. Well, Threadbooper here is not that bright. Okay. It's got like 3 modes and you need that on-demand governor so it can go into its version, you know, as much as a Threadbooper goes into low power, or it can drop down to its 2.2 gigahertz clock as low it can. Because when I'm not doing anything, I don't need this thing spooled up at full power or just half tilt. I need it to just barely be running. So I had to build a kernel with the on-demand governor in there and make sure that was enabled where I didn't have to fight it. It was just going to be there. It's not something I had to like enable or force enable with another application. So yeah, clean report, Debian 13. Don't be scared to try it. It's great. This is like one of the rare times where Debian is just as modern as any other distribution that you would normally be running. You know, all the stuff's there. GNOME 48, Plasma 6.3, XFCE 420 Blaze It. It's all there to play with. And of course, you get 5 years of support with Debian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nothing to it. Easy. What you got on this one, Joe?
Oh, boy. Well, I just want to point out that Debian is actually on most of my vintage computers that I have in my collection.
Oh, you're trying to say it's not good enough to run on modern PCs. Okay, I understand.
I have it on my show note machine. In fact, I still need to upgrade.
Oh, it's only
from
good
Debian.
enough to be run on show note machines.
No,
Okay.
No, I've got OBS on there as well. But no, I still have a copy running on my Deck Alpha. Now, that isn't officially supported by Debian, but it's community supported. So that's cool. And there was an update last year. So I updated my Deck Alpha with the latest Debian at that time. And so, yeah, Debian, it's, the Swiss Army knife of Linux distros. And it's at its best when it is stable. And it's actually that one and Ubuntu are my favorite distros ever, but I have to still give it to Debian because it is the original. It's the original. So, and I've been using it since like 1993. So it's one of my first distros as well after Slackware.
But Jill, you miss out on the Ubuntu experience of removing snaps.
Oh yeah, well that is a thing. Yeah.
You don't get that satisfaction of like, oh, go away.
Yeah. Well, I don't actually use snaps except when I need to test some packages on I have one machine.
According to the internet, nobody else does either, man.
Yeah. So, and so it the cool thing about Debian 13, it does come with Linux kernel 6.12, and that's a long-term support kernel that brings with it preempt -RT support for real-time performance. Also, there's enhanced support for Intel's new Arrow Lake and Lunar Lake processors, Raspberry 5 compatibility, and AMD RDNA 4 hardware support, which we talked about when Linux kernel 6.12 was released. But this ensures that Debian stays current with modern hardware while still maintaining long-term stability. So, and that's why Wedn uses it in his studio because it's stable. It's very stable. I have one of my animation rigs that I use. I've got Maya on it and whatnot, and I like it because it's stable. I never have to worry about the updates breaking things on software that's older and hasn't been updated. So
let's talk about Debian 13 breaking stuff. All right. The latest point update to DaVinci Resolve broken on Debian 13. There you go. Don't do the latest update. Wait until I haven't even had time to bisect it yet.
Okay.
I built my own Debian package, started it up, and it aired out. I looked at it and I'm like, I had something to do, so I always have a previous version ready to go, and just rolled it back. So you want to keep track of that. But yeah, you want to live that life, that boring life. And it sounds strange if you're just getting into Linux because you want to play with the latest and greatest and new stuff and learn all that. But when you just need a system that works, you don't have to deal
get
with
work
it.
done. Yeah.
There you go. Because and I run what I call the hyperstable stack, which is XFCE, X11 on Debian, because when I'm working on like a DaVinci Resolve project, like I'm usually in that project 12 to 13 hours in one day in a nonlinear video editor, like doing 3D work, doing graphics work, doing audio work. I can't lose any of that. There's no you wonder why I don't use, the open source video editors. They've gotten a lot of the features. It's all down to that stability. Like the idea of your video editor crashing should be a foreign idea. Like it should never crash under any circumstance. Like if I get DaVinci Resolve to crash 9 times out of 13, I sit back in this chair and go, I deserve that. I should have been trying to do that. All right. That was on me. That was on me. But there's always that shock of like, wait, what? What happened? And same way with XFC, it's not flashy. It doesn't do anything special, but like the idea of like a crash in my.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of like Ubuntu and GNOME, I had GNOME the desktop crash on me last night. What I was trying to do, I'm like, how do people live like this? Like, this is maddening. Like, how can a desktop what?
Mm-hmm.
So,
mm-hmm. Yeah.
There you go. And I love new stuff too, but like not on work stuff. Not on work stuff.
Yeah.
Something that go ahead.
I think Monica is correct in chat. She says, "So is Ubuntu just a Debian forky?"
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
It's I don't call them forks; they're babies. It's a Debian baby. Debian's got a bunch of babies out there.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good one, Ben.
So does Ubuntu. A lot of stuff have like forked off of Ubuntu. Like we were talking about,
Pop
like
OS.
how silly that gets. Like Pop OS. It's technically, the journey starts so that's like the grandpappy. And then you got the grandfather, like, and it keeps like, maybe somebody will fork Pop OS to something else. Like it can get crazy. Just start with the source. I definitely used Ubuntu in the studio for a while, and I forget exactly what it was, but it was one of the early. This has been a long time ago when UEFI first came out. Like I got the first motherboard that I'd bought with UEFI, and I'm like, what is this crazy moon technology? And nothing was booting on it. Fedora wasn't booting on it. Slack wasn't booting on it. And I'm like, what do? I tried the latest Ubuntu, and it popped up, and I'm like, yes, we're using that, man. So I used that for a while. Got the job
you did.
done.
And Fedora.
Yeah. Well, I used Fedora forever, man. I used Fedora because I used to use Red Hat Desktop, and then Red Hat Desktop went away. Then I started using Fedora, and that was when I made that switch, because I was trying to use Fedora on that motherboard, and it just couldn't figure out what the UEFI was at the time. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll use something else, because I don't have any loyalty. I use what works best.
Yeah.
For the situation. I'm like, no, I'm going to stab myself in the pinky toe because I really like this thing. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I've already been through those phases. You'll get over it.
Aw. Well, when I started LWDW for like the first 4 years, I was using Debian. And the only reason I kind of moved my podcasting rig to Ubuntu is that I just wanted to test the latest like I just kept it on here. I keep upgrading it.
It's the old school mentality versus people want, the vast overwhelming majority of people want everything basically set up, format of the box, especially if you're new to Linux, because you don't know what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's definitely going to differ. I want something that is going to give me like just give me that base minimum. Give me a GUI, give me a network stack, leave me alone, and don't fight me when I try to change anything. And Debian ticks all those boxes. You want to rip something out of Debian? Debian is like that. Sure. It does. Go for it. It's going to explode, but it'll be fun to watch. And so it's really good for setting up a custom, when you say I got everything just like I like it. No, that's great distro for that. And nothing's going to change on you. Now, something I'll be using after the show for our patrons, because if you're a patron, you get a version of this video that's not on YouTube. It's the same video, but it's higher quality video, higher quality audio. And you don't have to deal with YouTube, easy to download. And you get to watch it, no commercials or ads or anything like that. I use Handbrake still to make that video. I'm just going to tell you about this new version, about the pina colada pineapple that everybody knows, because you need to put down that cocktail. The encode is done. Yeah,
absolutely. So our favorite open source video converter here at LWW is Handbrake. And Handbrake has a new release and an update for those of us who like to share videos on the socials like Discord. So Handbrake 1.10 has a new social 10 megabyte preset that has been added for creating small, quick video exports. The new 10 megabyte preset was created in response to Discord's 10 megabyte upload limit for free accounts.
Thank you, Discord. You're making video worse. Love it.
Yes, which was reduced to 10 megabytes last year. And I've definitely been noticing this when I've been wanting to post videos. And so Handbrake, it is base this preset on the existing social 25 megabyte settings, but it utilizes a lower resolution and tighter bit rates for a slower coder preset to achieve, a smaller file size. Thank you, Discord. So annoying. Also, there are improvements to metadata handling now that allow for the preservation of creation dates and cover art. And the Handbrake 1.10 update includes enhanced control over the encoder color range, updated NVENC CQ ranges, and native subrip UTF-8 pass-through to MKV subtitles. That's awesome. And third-party libraries such as FFmpeg 7.1.1 and X264 have been updated to improve performance and codec compatibility. And for us Linux users, Handbrake 1.10 has stability fixes for Opus, Vorbis, audio, and WebM files, hides presets for hardware encoders that aren't available, which is very convenient, and includes an updated set of translations. So this version of Handbrake would actually have a lot of big updates in it, not just the social preset, 10 meg preset, but I really appreciate that social preset because I've used the social 25 megabyte preset quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to now doing the 10 one for Discord and other socials that require only 10 megs now.
And let's be very clear. You're not going to turn your super long video into 10 megs.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be realistic here. Typically what I do is I just bust down the resolution. Like I said, thanks Discord, you're destroying video quality. Which I understand, we all got a problem. My biggest problem with Discord is, I ran into that today. This morning, I had I ran into a little issue, and it's like a little side project, and had a question, and I'm like, can I make it do, thing X, Y, Z? And of course, instead of just having discussions open on GitHub, down at the bottom it was like, pop in our Discord. I'm like, oh God, why? Quit doing that. Do you like answering the same question over and over and over and over and over and over?
Yeah.
Does that make you feel good? Because I don't think that makes anybody feel good. If you had the discussions open, somebody could have asked that question, be it me, or more importantly, somebody in the past could have asked that question. It would have been there. Could have found it. Because you know what I'm not doing? Scrolling through Discord chat, trying to see if somebody's ever asked that question. So they're just going to, and they're like, oh, we've already answered that. I'm like, where? Oh. Yeah. Discord's going to Discord. We got a Discord, by the way.
Yeah. And we do love and use it all the time. But I just don't like it when they take away features.
Well, they did a test. They went up to I think what was 10 megs. And it was originally 8 for a long time. We're talking about the non-nitro users.
Yeah.
And I hit that limit sometimes, but here's my solution to the problem when I'm like, oh, I found a funny video here, let me share it. And it's it's not gonna fit. I just don't share it. There's my solution. I'm like, because you know what? Most of the time I'm on mobile,
Yeah.
I'm not in here. I'm not on a PC with a Handbrake on it. I'm just like, well, too bad, so sad. Guess you don't get to laugh at it. And that's it. A couple of weeks ago, Jill, might have been last week before, we talked about AI integration into Firefox. Yeah, we did. Because you got to shove AI into everything, man. You got to do it. You can't have a successful product in 2025 without AI. Brought to you by this AI-powered keg, Bubba Keg, liquid drink dispenser. It's probably not AI-powered, but it's still there. And the best way to do any type of LLMs or anything we agree, if you're listening to this show, self-host. You do it at home. You do it on your own hardware. You don't do it in the cloud. Where's that data going to go? You don't know. And that's what Firefox did with their local AI integration. And that's what we talked about on the show. I'm like, okay, well, at least they're going to put it on your PC. And we're like, okay, that That's good.
Yeah.
What do they do it for? The AI enhanced tab groups. Turns out the obvious thing happened. When you're doing matrix multiplication or running GPU, CPU, AI stuff on your PC, it makes your CPU, possibly your GPU, go burr. And that's off-putting when you're like, all I have is a browser open. Why are my fans going like I don't understand. Well, over at Tom's Hardware, there'll be a link to everything we talked about in our show notes. Lem Raifi R7 on Reddit. And there's another gentleman. I can't show you his post because he was mad.
Yeah.
It's a bit cussy, but there'll be a link to it. Pointed to the process interference fluctuating between 0.5% and 130% CPU usage, just like sitting there with the AI tab groups. And it's a progressive feature rollout. So unfortunately, Tom's Hardware didn't have access to it. Fortunately, I don't think I have access to it because it'll just be yet another thing I have to go into Firefox and disable. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Because Firefox, I just need you to be a browser. Little buddy, that's all we need. I need you to run web pages. That's all I'm asking from you. I got applications to do everything else, and I don't need AI to manage my tabs, as I talked about last time. If I let you manage my tabs, how am I supposed to find them later?
Yes.
Are you going to release another AI application to help me search for the location that your AI grouped and stored my tabs into automatically? I don't think you are. But there has been an update, Jill.
Yeah.
Firefox, they wrote back and they were like, okay, yeah, that happened. Our bad. Phased rollout. We're working on it. So
good.
Working on a fix.
That's wonderful. And, it's for new features like this that it's the best reason for Mozilla to roll out, major updates slowly so they can get early feedback, catch bugs, and make improvements. So it's a good thing that they rolled it out slowly and not for everyone to use. And all of a sudden, all the Firefox users have exploded their computers all at once. I have not been blessed yet with this update, but I'm sure happy I didn't get it yet. Especially since I'm using Firefox right now for my LWDW show notes. I don't want that to be happening.
The more and more of this stuff happens, the more and more I'm just like looking at Ladybird going, come on.
Come on, yeah.
Come on.
It's time. No.
Ladybird has this crazy idea of making a browser. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's a browser. Yeah. It's not going to have AI tab grouping in it. And listen, Chrome is just as bad with the
oh yeah.
Yeah. Like we need just, you are going to see when Ladybird is in a serviceable mode, the mass migration that we saw from IE6, IE7 to Firefox back in the day.
Yeah.
If you weren't around for those times, like it was very, and this wasn't a Linux thing. This was just universal. Windows, well, on Mac, you probably used whatever they had. But on Linux and Windows, you just, hopefully just had Firefox on Linux, but even Windows users, like, what do you use Internet Explorer for? Like, that's where that meme came from of like, I download Firefox. Yeah.
So fortunately on Linux, we got to go from Netscape to Firefox. That was really nice.
Yeah.
And Firefox is my favorite browser, and one of the reasons because it is open source. So yeah, but it's going to be nice when we have other competitors in that field. If hopefully it's going to happen.
Well, I definitely went from like Netscape Communicator to Firefox. Then I went to Chrome.
Yeah.
Because Firefox got nasty, slow, and it was just a crashy, horrible mess. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And again, what I explained earlier, I use what works. Mm-hmm. I don't stab myself in the pinky. I'm like, no, Chrome just showed up, and I'm like, do you know what Chrome was when it launched, Joe? A browser.
Chromium. Well, yeah. When
it was a
launched,
browser.
Yeah, I was using Chromium.
That's what it did. It browsed. It didn't even have plugin support. And I'm like, awesome. And it just ran circles around Firefox. Yeah, Chromium is the open source. Like use Chromium if you want, but use whatever you want. I think I use everything but like Brave. And like I said, I'm just waiting on Ladybird. I got high hopes for it. I will always be a proponent of that. And I'm glad it's finally gotten some funding. But that's going to do it for the show this week. LinuxGamecast.com is where the podcast is located. You can find our latest Linux gaming podcast if you're into that type of stuff, where we talked about what Valve did very recently, which they reminded a bunch of people that Steam was available for Chromebooks.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody remembered that, or they didn't even know about it. They're like, wait, what? Valve came out and they're like, we're discontinuing support for Steam on Chromebooks. And everyone went, what are you even talking about? Well, you had Steam on Chromebooks all this time. And you're like, well, yeah, I mean, we're Valve. I think we mentioned it once in an update at one point. Because you go back like 2 years ago, there were like gaming Chromebooks and stuff like they never took off. And Valve's like, yeah, and they're getting rid of Chrome OS. They're going to fold that into Android. So they're going to be pulling the plug on that. Talked about that. I brought up my favorite PlayStation 1 game, getting a big, massive update. You know what I'm talking about? Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic. Yeah.
I'm not joking about that. Go check it out. And and Counter-Strike, which I'm not really into Counter-Strike, but I played it once or twice. They tried switching Counter-Strike from X11 to Wayland. It lasted for 24 hours. And they're like, oh, okay, let's go back to X11 on that one. So you'll be able to find all the stuff over there. And if you like our shows and you're like, hey, man, we'd like to kick you $1 a week, $1,000 a week, $10,000 a minute. Patreon.com /Linux Gamecast. And of course, we got LibrePay, PayPal, and the Bitcoins. That's the best way to support us. And you can get that Handbrake custom artisanal video that I put out each and every week. And you get the live show, which is the pre-show before we go live. Well, we've talked about mopping floors or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you get the live show, then you get the main show, and you get the after show, and a nice, convenient, easy to carry podcast, and you get a custom RSS feed. If you don't know about that and you support other creators on Patreon and their podcast, they probably have shows like that. You don't have to manually download them. You can get your own custom RSS feed on everybody's Patreon page. I use that for a couple of people I support and just put it in your podcatcher and like, boom, shows right up. And then you get your name in the credits also, which are about to roll right now. And if you're in the audio version, Jill's going to read out every single name.
No, I won't even touch 10 probably. And our advisor, Theron, thank you. Our executive producer, Barbrandt Scott, Atomic 12345. Our Chicago Kicks Mules level, Glorious Egg Roll, Basil, Empty. Our Sea Monsters, Vera Tenuta, Treggy, Mike, Casey Clism. Our Death Notes, Oil of Hope, Zeno, Nova, Chad, Romeo, Martin. Our chairlings, we've got Monica in there. We've got lots of other people in there too.
There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lots of people in there. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Have a great rest of your week. If you wouldn't get in touch, hey, that's another thing. If you're a patron, hop in our Discord. We're there the other 6 days of the week. If you're curious about what I'm up to, playing around with stuff, interfacing Linux, got forums over there. Go get your tack on and feel free to hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Done. See you next week, everybody. Have a great one.
Bye, everyone.
I still need those glow sticks.
Oh, yeah.
I need like LED glow sticks, though, because like then I'd just be waving around like inert blocks of like stuff.